Good evening, YouTube.
Hi.
It's day 12, last day tomorrow, and we've actually seen, well, I've seen 3 shows, you've seen 2 today, and this is the first opportunity that we've had to film anything, and it is 20 to 8 on Tuesday evening. See, don't even know what day it is. So, the first show this morning, or this lunchtime, was in Everglade Studio. Now, this was an email that we received fairly recently, and the email, I haven't got the email up, but it said they'd had no reviews, and we sort of took pity on them, and we, moved things around and arranged to come and see the show. It's in the Assembly George Square's The Box, which is
Container
cabin, yeah. At 1 o'clock every day. I'll read the blurb bit. In 1974, London, 3 musicians and their manager seal themselves inside an underground recording studio to complete an Americana album, unaware that material in the walls are driving them to the brink of insanity. As artistic and social tensions flare, the atmosphere grows thornier. The music grows stranger, and Everglade Studio's mixture of creativity and claustrophobia demands its pound of flesh. Black Bat Productions return with this ferocious comedic thriller by Nathaniel Brimmer-Beller. And then, although they've said they've had no reviews, we have a number of 5-star reviews. Make of that what you will. I was interested partly because I've worked in plenty of recording studios, not in the 70s, but I'm going to ask you what you thought first, and then I'll say what I thought, because
well, I was sort of looking forward to it being within a music studio, because I thought Ian will have a different perspective on that, because he knows how recording studios work. So initially I was sort of a bit disappointed by the set, because there was no, I expected maybe just a simple,
a mixing desk would have been good.
Well, a mixing desk, and maybe some semblance of a screen. I mean, it didn't need to be an actual screen, but even a frame, so as though you had somebody in a I know I'm getting a little studio. Bit, sort of maybe too specific, but the fact that it would look like a recording studio. But there were a couple of sort of smallish tables. There was an old sort of record player on one, and there were bits. The radio. There were sort of bits of equipment, but all sort of on little tables. There was a keyboard, there was a red light that denoted recording when it was on, and some microphones and things, but not like the proper mics that you have. Anyway, that's maybe being too specific. But actually, once it started, even though they were sort of playing those roles, and there was a role, a guy sort of manager, recording engineer. He wasn't. I
thought he was an engineer stroke producer rather than a manager, but it says in here.
Well, anyway,
there's a manager.
But it became, and then there was a singer, and she had a terrific voice, fantastic voice. But after sort of 15-20 minutes, I thought, well, this is actually appeared to me as though it was just a vehicle for her to sing, and I'm thinking, this isn't sort of really about the ins and outs of a recording studio. And that was just the start of it. So I'll stop there, because I do want to say more, but I'll let you.
I agree with you about her having a good voice. But I know it's difficult, but the quality. I think she had a good voice, and the piano player was very good. It was just a piano player and her playing guitar, and another girl singing. I thought the quality of the songs was really quite poor. I thought they were almost nondescript, the songs.
I thought they were pretty good, but that's just
a difference of opinion. That's fine. The problem with a show or a theatre piece that is portraying to be in a recording studio is what happens in recording studios. You're after a really good take, and that it became evidence after the first song that they weren't good takes anyway. So, and I know that, you know, I'd give artistic license to that because they're moving it along really. But I became more and more disengaged after the first song and a half really. And I have to say, although as it says, it's I didn't get the fact that it's a
thriller,
a comedic thriller. There wasn't any, for me, there wasn't many laughs in it.
No.
If any laughs in it.
No, I don't think no.
And I just thought the whole script was a mess.
Well, so it started off, and then there was another singer was introduced, and she obviously had songs as well, which obviously hacked off the main singer, who became more of a sort of prima donna. The keyboard player had a complete hissy fit, so there was no sort of build up of characters, and he suddenly became, it was very cliched, and he stormed off. But there were all these layers going on, so that started. Then there was sort of, I don't know how to describe it, there was racist banter, which everybody seemed quite comfortable with, and that's fine, because, you know, you assume that they had a good relationship. But then because of these toxic fumes that obviously began to affect people, the whole atmosphere changed, and then it became really racist. I mean, we had somebody who had a Confederate flag on their arm, which upset, obviously. It was
a tattoo, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was meant to be a tattoo, and the whole thing then sort of unravelled. There was a suggestion that this was a real event, which actually we've not been able
because
to, we've been in a bit of a rush.
But I've just looked now, and I don't think it.
So there was a suggestion that it was a real event, and it got very sort of bizarre. I mean, the last 20 minutes was people sort of falling about, slurred speech, and then somebody locked them all in, and you didn't know, did they all die, did they get out?
I mean, I actually, to be fair, I actually missed the last 3 minutes because I was dashing to another show. So Jane stayed right to the end. So I mean, an apologies to the cast for having to leave early, because I don't like to do that sort of thing, but I had no choice, because technically it overran, because it was meant to finish at 2 and it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It was
overrunning. But shows overrunning in Edinburgh, that's not their fault. It just felt, I mean, I agree with you, I didn't really care about any of the characters. I just thought the script was really poor, and I thought the actors were doing as well as they could with what, to me, never having written a script, seemed like a really poor script and poor dialogue. Don't know how you feel about that.
I mean, the setup, I mean, I'm repeating myself, the studio setup, it was a shame that there wasn't a little bit more detail about that. And then I didn't understand, you know, it went very much down a racist sort of because two of the characters were black, and that's why, and obviously one of them got very upset with the Confederate flag, but it was how it wasn't naturally, or appeared to me naturally, part of the script, the narrative. I know that word gets overused. I didn't know where it was going.
It didn't go anywhere.
And then so much was spent in the latter stages of the production of people just falling about. Obviously affected, like I say, by the, you know, and it does say that in the description. But there was no real end.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm afraid I didn't enjoy it.
No, I didn't enjoy it either. How many stars?
I think I'm going to have to go for 2.
I'm also going to go for 2 as well. I tell you when it is, so you can go make your own mind up, because it's on right to the end of the Fringe. Granted, it wasn't for us. Other opinions are available.
Yeah.
So as we said, it's on Assembly George Square, the box, right until the end, which is the 28th of August, on every day, and the cost is £12.50 full price, £11.50 concession. If it sounds like your sort of thing, please go and see it and let us know what you think about it in the comments down below, because you know, ours is just an opinion really, and we're not always right. Other opinions are available, as is clearly by some of the reviews that they've had, which have been 5 stars. So it just didn't resonate with us.
No.
We'll see in the next video, which is a show that I went to on my own, but obviously Jane doesn't know about it, but we'll tell you about that. So we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.